Alrighty, welcome back. Like I said, we have a What's on Your Mind today, and we have a couple special guests in here, and we're going to be talking about sex trafficking in Montana and a couple of community events that are going to be happening next week. So I'll let them introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Oh, ladies first.
Hi, I'm Monique Schofield. I'm the Safety and Compliance Officer at the University of Montana Western.
Hi, I'm Emily Curtis, and I am the Health and Wellness Coordinator, also at the University of Montana Western.
Good morning, Dylan. I'm Jeremy Alvarez with the Dillon Police Department, Chief of Police.
Alrighty, and next week you guys have some very important events, I guess you could call it, going on up at the college. And you know, this is something that lately has been in the news a lot. And the problem is in Montana, lots of us think we're immune to that, but we have I-15 that runs through Montana, and that's kind of a main highway for more than just travel.
Yes, we do. It brings a lot of people through Dillon, not only to gas up, but if you take I-15, it takes you to Canada all the way to Mexico. And so it takes you through about 5 other states, California, Nevada, Arizona, just briefly, Utah, Idaho, and then straight into the beautiful state of Montana. But along with that, it also brings crime. And we're going to do a training at UM Western. We partnered with UM Western, and just very fortunate to be able to have that kind of collaboration to where we can utilize their facilities and we can bring somebody like Detective Guy Baker out of Missoula PD. He's got 33 years with the Missoula PD. For the last 22 years, he's been a detective, and he's worked approximately 1,100 crimes throughout his career. I know that Detective Guy Baker also works with the Montana Regional Violent Crimes Task Force, as well as the Sex and Human Trafficking investigation team with the FBI in the state of Montana. So it's going to be a very awesome training for law enforcement. We're going to have a 4-hour presentation given to us that's going to teach us to give us a more comprehensive understanding of the crime of sex trafficking, recognizing those common indicators to identify the victims, and learn techniques for effective investigation strategies to work with the crime in our community. But not only that, it's going to be free to the public from 6 to 8 p.m. And Detective Guy Baker is going to talk about this to the public and let the public know, because obviously we all know law enforcement can't be everywhere all the time. And we rely heavily on the public to notify us of things, if it's a car accident or if it's a drunk driver, and then not only that, but human trafficking or sex trafficking. And there's going to be a lot of things that Detective Guy Baker is going to talk to us about that sex trafficking and about indicators to look for in the community. So I want to open it up to everybody from 6 to 8 on April 3rd, Monday, at University of Montana Western. It's going to be at the Lewis and Clark Hall from 6 to 8 p.m. 100% free. I highly suggest that we go fill that room and everybody get educated about it, because it's not just that we need to learn about it as law enforcement, but the public as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the thing too, you know. Lots of people just kind of like, they put their blinders on and they just go about life and they think, well, it's not affecting me, but you never know when that's going to affect you. And I know, like, we were talking before we went on the air, and you know, they were saying, what were you saying? It was like from the 90s it was.
So Detective Baker's, to kind of put it in perspective, he said the issue of human trafficking is becoming what domestic violence was in the 1990s. It's becoming a increasingly expanding problem, and it's in places where you just commonly wouldn't suspect that it is living. And so that's one of the reasons we want to promote this. We want to raise awareness about the issue, but we also want to enhance community and campus safety. And we've been very blessed to kind of build on what Jeremy said about our presentation that we're having at 6, from 6 to 8. We have been blessed to have community partners who also see value in that. So we will have the Women's Resource Center will be providing information. They'll be doing tabling, is what they call it. They'll be providing information and handouts and resources for folks. We'll have the Southwest Montana Clinic is going to be there, the 988 Suicide Prevention Team. We've got our UMW Counseling Center staff who will be present, and then we have our wellness team that Emily is leading that will be also providing resources for students and anybody else who attends. So it looks like it's going to be an exciting event.
Yeah, and for the Officer Baker, he works for the Missoula Police Department right now,
Correct.
and then this is kind of his specialty.
Yeah, this is one of his specialties. He also has been working with the Missing Indigenous Women Council and the task force with that as well. Just what's really interesting is most people think of modern day slavery as a crime that only occurs in foreign countries or in big cities or other states. But no, it's happening here in Montana across several different cities, and from big cities to little cities. It's amazing what you'll see that pulls into Rocky Mountain Supply at 2 in the afternoon, or the Big Town Pump at 10 at night, or our local hotels, or Sparky's Garage, and so it's just happening in numerous cities across the state. And Baker's presentation will educate attendees about the indicators to assist us in identifying what's actually going on. So human sex trafficking takes probably place number 2 in the nation versus our number 1, which is drugs, and they both go hand in hand, side by side. So it's super powerful stuff, and really encourage everybody to come up to Western.
And it's like, you see the indigenous people, the red hand over their face, and it's really became a thing where you see some of the athletes that will wear that during like not games but before games, and then also I've seen it where even some of the actresses when they go on the red carpet and that they wear it. And it's kind of sad, but I mean it seems like every couple of weeks there's a new missing person from the reservation.
Correct. And I know I've listened to several podcasts with Detective Guy Baker about the Jermaine Charlo case out of Missoula, and so I've probably listened to about 5 of those podcasts, and we're not immune. That's Missoula. That's only 2.5 hours away. That's Montana. That's us. We have reservations. We don't have any close to us now, but in Dillon. But it's a scary thing to think of what's going on in the reservations, as well as the big cities and the small cities like us.
Well, there's always the the old adage of a van with free candy on the side of it.
Yes.
And in modern day, it's the internet promising easy work.
Absolutely. Easy work, comfort. We'll provide you with these clothes that you can never ever afford, and then it's just that trapment, and it gets you sucked in.
Yeah, and I know in the past they've had what was his name? Officer Daniels, I think it was. He would come from Idaho.
Oh, yes.
He would talk about the dangers of Facebook for teenagers and stuff. But, even as you're in your your later teens, earlier 20s, even older people, the dangers of social media and the trappings that it offers.
Correct.
You see it in the Dillon jobs thing where people are posting, we'll send a van to pick you up to work at Amazon.
Correct. The social media is so easy to utilize these days for these criminals to sex extortion. Officer Jared Rumsey just did a class up at Western in regards to that, and we're not immune. We've had it from high school kids that they're trying to sex extort and get money for, to Western students, to 50-year-old men and women. So it's just an easy tool for people to utilize to where they don't have to do that crime face to face, and it's terrifying. You send me an image of your nude body, or they get onto a snap real quick, and those things go away.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for law enforcement to track somebody down in Dubai, especially when the crime's happening here in Dillon. But it terrifies those people. And so it's never ending. It's just, you get one thing figured out, and then the next thing something else pops up.
And that's it's an ever evolving game of cat and mouse with them.
Correct.
It just blows my mind, like the amount of emails I get in a day that are just complete junk. But I could see where like a younger person would be like, oh, this must be real.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When a major company is sending you something from a Gmail address, it's not. But most people, and I've even seen it like where, people get a phone call and they get extorted to go get gift cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's not just extortion. It's also, fraud over the phone. I guarantee that we'll never call and ask for money from you if you have a warrant. We'll let you take care of that with the courts. We don't collect that money.
Yeah.
So but that's what people do.
Yeah.
Hey, give me $500 in Amazon gift cards.
Yeah.
if you guys want to give anybody money, give it to your friends and family. Don't give it to somebody over the phone, over the internet. You're not going to get $12 million because you're going to help somebody out. No.
And
give it to your
it's,
friends and
if
family.
and that's kind of the thing is like this goes along almost like with that human trafficking is they'll say we found pornography on your computer that's illegal, and for us not to prosecute you need to send us $5,000 in Home Depot gift cards, and people do it.
Yes.
And it's like, is your computer even hooked up to the internet? And that's the thing. And then you guys have some more stuff coming up too, and we'll get to that. But first, how about a word from our sponsors? Alrighty, welcome back. You're listening to KDBM, KBEV here in Dillon, and we have a What's on Your Mind, and we've been talking about sex trafficking and the presentation they're going to have April 3rd that is open to the public in the Lewis and Clark room. It is going to be from 6 to 8 p.m., and it is free. So if you want to learn more about it, we highly suggest that you just take a couple hours out of your evening and head up there. They're going to have Guy Baker with the Missoula Police Department giving a talk. But then they also have a few more events coming up. And what are those?
Well, so we're very fortunate the very next day from the sex trafficking presentation, we're going to have a color run that starts at the University of Montana Western, and it's just a 2-mile run. You don't have to run. You can walk, jog, bike, whatever you want to do. 2 miles around the Barrett Hospital Loop. And it's just another way to raise awareness for sex trafficking and prevention as well. And it's also a healthy way to get the community together and to get talking about this.
Okay, and what time does that one start?
That starts at 3:30.
3:30. And then with the color run, is it going to be the one where you guys have the powder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, last year we only threw teal powder because that correlates with specifically sex trafficking. But this year we wanted to do multiple colors just to incorporate basically everything too. And so we have about 10 different stops along the way on the run where we're fortunate to have the YC kids throw powder for us. And so, yeah.
And so if nobody's ever been to a color run, what should they wear and what can they expect?
Well, this year it's going to be a little chilly, so I recommend dressing warm. And if you can, wear a white t-shirt so that way the powder stands out a little bit more.
And the powder, it washes out.
Yep, yeah, it washes out and it's safe for the environment too. And
It's biodegradable.
yeah, biodegradable.
Isn't it like a cornmeal type powder?
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived in Utah for a little while, and the color runs and the color festivals were a huge thing when I was in Utah, so went and covered quite a few of those. So I do know that it washes out. It kind of sticks to you, but it just kind of washes right off. Doesn't leave any dye or anything. And it's a great way, we can bring awareness to the sex trafficking and the other things that are happening in the community, but it's also just a healthy, fun thing to do. And you guys have it in time so kids are getting out of school so that, they can go do that.
Yep.
And
yeah.
like you said, you don't have to run in it. You can walk it, bike ride it. And is it free?
Yep, it's free. And the Women's Resource Center will have tables there and they'll supply water, popsicles, other refreshments before and after the run as well.
There you go. We can all get out there and maybe if we all jog, we can warm it up
Yeah.
so that it quits snowing on us.
Yep.
You should put a challenge out to BJ.
Oh.
Have him run it.
Get the fire department out there,
Yeah.
absolutely, no doubt. I think, maybe with this fun run, maybe it'll break this ice age that we're going through. So I love that idea,
Yeah.
Emily. That's great. I love it.
Thank you.
BJ out there, have him run the color run.
BJ Closey, you're going to
Yeah.
be doing the color run.
We could get Dave Went to do it.
David Went,
Yep.
come on, Sheriff.
Come
You
on.
got this.
Let's see, who else should we get involved in
I
that?
think we should ask everybody.
We
you
should
know?
have Wendy and Lee go run it.
Wendy, Lee,
Yeah.
Sparkies,
Sparkies.
Papa T's,
Jed
Yeah.
Fitch,
Jed Fitch, County Attorney,
Yeah, there
Sky
we go.
Jones.
Sky Jones, City Attorney, the Mayor,
The mayor, yeah.
John McGinley.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about some banks? We could get the banks
Hazel
involved.
Baker out there.
Todd Hazelbaker, you are running, buddy.
Yeah.
Get with it. Absolutely. I think we should, you know, I got a sneak peek of the den, and the Lion's Den is looking amazing, guys. Oh my goodness. So, sorry, a little side tangent, but yes.
Sidetrack there.
Yeah. No, the color run's awesome. I know we used to do walk a mile in our shoes, and that was for domestic violence and rape victims.
Yeah.
And so this is the color run's a great way to get out there and bring that knowledge and let people know that yes, this is happening.
I would participate, but I'm going to be behind the camera getting some shots. So.
We'll make sure you get colored up.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are always the great shots. So, and then, do you guys have anything else planned besides the color run for that day, or is it just going to be kind of the color run? And
The color run's going to be pretty much the event for that day. For the 4th, the sex trafficking presentations, especially with the law enforcement component, is going to be a big deal, I feel, especially for the campus community, but also our Dillon community. One of the things that is important to me is, one, to raise awareness, but also for the public to understand that regardless of what state or county you're in, law enforcement cannot be everywhere, and so it's really important to have citizens that recognize things that look suspicious. We don't need them to take intervention. We don't need them to step in. We just need them to be the eyes and ears and to report.
Yeah.
And this is going to help raise awareness for that.
Okay.
And I'm very, very excited to see it happen. And I'm interested to hear the presentation as well as the training. So,
Yeah.
And then the color run, again, just to really emphasize the rape and sexual assault prevention. Again, a big problem in this country, especially among our college students. So
Yeah.
we really want to raise awareness about that. And I love that we have so many people from the community that are going to join us in that. And I do want to challenge BJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
In
think
his,
it would
in
be
his
good.
turnout gear, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be
He's
awesome.
probably listening to
Yeah.
us going, stop talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got oxygen, so we don't have to worry about that, right?
I think it's great because the Women's Resource Center does so much for our community,
Yeah.
as well as UM Western. So does the fire department. So does every one of those businesses and those people that I said. We need each and every one of us to be successful here in Dillon. And so I think that's the benefit of the small community that we live in, and let's keep it going.
Well, and it's like you were saying, you know, the cops can't be everywhere. I mean, we have how many officers?
Right now we have 9. We should have 10. We're in the process of hiring our next officer. The county has 8 deputies. And so, boy, Dillon's not the Dillon of 10 years ago.
And that's 24/7, 365-day protection. So you guys
Correct.
cannot be everywhere at once.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
if you ever want to know what the cops do, buy a scanner and listen to it for one day.
True.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
mean, it's crazy, some of the things, you know, that I hear you guys get called out for, and that's just stuff that goes over the scanner, because there's lots of stuff that's personal that can't go over that you guys handle other ways.
Correct.
And
Yes.
it just, I mean, there's days where I've noticed every time I'm on a phone call, the scanner goes off. It never fails, but I mean, there's days where that thing will just not stop.
It's always going. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to thank you guys for coming down and, you know, getting this together, because I think things like this is stuff that our community needs, because we truly have lived in a bubble and we've grown immensely, and it's just something where people, I always hear that what happened to our community. Well, we've grown,
Yes.
and it's something that's going to continue. We're going to continue to grow. We're not that little town that we once had, and it's just good that we continue to bring this stuff out to the community. Yes.
Review times one more time.
What?
Review times
Oh, okay.
and dates.
We're being coached here by Wendy. I was going to do that, Wendy, but thank you for interjecting. She's mumbling as she walks away. You have to deal with this at home.
I'm glad you're getting bossed.
I know. Okay, so The sex trafficking in Montana, the community event is going to be April 3rd from 6 to 8 p.m. and that's at the University of Montana Western Lewis and Clark room. It's a free event. It's open to the public, and then the color run is
3:30 the very next day on the 4th.
all right. So there you go. We've been scolded by Wendy, so it's a complete day, and we are. No, now she's yelling at us again. But no, I want to thank you guys for coming in, and thanks for getting these people together and putting on these events, because if you're in the community and you've got the time, go to it. It's free. It will probably enlighten you to things you've never even thought of. And yeah, like I said, I have a background of criminal justice, and when I went to school, it opened my eyes to a whole new world, and it was talking to people like Detective Guy Baker that did that, because these guys are very raw and very open and very passionate about what they do.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
so much.
All right. Looking for made in Montana food products? Look no further than Town and Country Foods of Dillon.